Hey everybody, what's going on? Just want to say before we get into the hardcore material we're going to cover now, I'm not suicidal, love my life. I don't go skydiving. I don't live in a high-rise building. I would never jump off any high platforms. Totally happy with everything going on in my life. Just want to let you know. But I think we live in an age where if you speak out, if you tell the truth, if you investigate this criminal government, they will come after you. Could be wrong, but the story that I'm going to cover now is pretty intense. Stick around. Liberty Internet Anchorman TV, just wanted to let you know we're at the crossroads for sure, and I think actually we could say we've passed the crossroads. We're already down the road of the tyranny. Before I get into what's happening right now, I want to just look back at other fascistic or tyrannical governments, whether it is Stalin, whether it is Hitler, whether it is Mao, any one of these dictators. One of the central themes is know everything about the people, right? They want to have files on everyone. It's like the Gestapo, the secret police. They had files on everybody. They knew where you shopped, where you worked, what you did, who you hung out with, what church you went to, everything. I know from having family in Cuba, this is something that is central to the Castro regime and to really any totalitarian regime, which is having informants everywhere. Now, the way it was done old school was they had an informant that would infiltrate, your church, that would infiltrate your student organization, whatever it may be, and then they had informants literally walking around the streets to listen on what the people were saying. Now it's all done with the new technology, which leads me to the Utah Data Center that is being built. This story is shocking. The media won't cover it, but I will. And I'll tell you, before I get into this, I saw an interview last night with the 5 recent whistleblowers that have come out on this under this administration. Many, if not all of them, work for the national security of the NSA, the National Security Agency. And all of them left because of the breach of trust, the information they are accessing on you and everything that you do. Your Fourth Amendment rights have been completely stripped. Completely. And if you think it's going to get better under Romney, you're totally wrong, because wait till I cover some of the people that Romney is choosing as his counterterrorism intelligence advisors. Will make you absolutely send a chill down your spine. The Data Utah Center is going to be 5 times the size of the U.S. Capitol. Yeah, that's right, 5 times the size of the U.S. Capitol. It's currently under construction. It's set to be up and running by September 13th. Its purpose? To intercept, decipher, analyze, and store vast swaths of the world's communications as they zap down from satellites and zip through the underground and oversea cables of international, foreign, and domestic networks. Flowing through its servers and routers and stored in near bottomless databases will be all forms of communication, including but not limited to the complete content of private emails, cell phone calls, the Google searches that you do, and as well as all sorts of personal data, trails, parking receipts, travel itineraries, bookstore purchases, and other digital pocket litter, credit card purchases, everything. Let me ask you, why does the government want to track everything that you do? We're not talking about the so-called boogeyman terrorists from Al-Qaeda, okay? Because at least there, they could say, well, it's this group of people, which I'm against. They can track people that they have warrants for, that they suspect of wrongdoing. They get a warrant, and then they go and do this. That's the way our system works, but no longer. And if you look at people that say, oh, well, America will never change, it already has changed. We had a Fourth Amendment right in this country. And without Congress ruling, without you voting, now they can do whatever the hell they want. No more Fourth Amendment rights. The president can pick you up, throw you in jail, or they can just track you without a warrant. This data center is something that the 5 whistleblowers, who are all now many of them, being tried under the Espionage Act. Okay, the Espionage Act, which was passed by Woodrow Wilson, I think it was used once or twice, has been used over 6 or 7 times by this administration. One guy who just literally was like a computer nerd, right, at the NSA, had his house SWAT teamed while he was taking a shower, and they came up to him with guns blazing. He spoke out yesterday as well. These people are speaking out because they're saying excuse me, this is going in the wrong direction. Why do they want to know everything that you do? But if you know history, you know why they want to know. Stalin, whether it is Hitler, whether it is Mao, any one of these dictators, one of the central themes is know everything about the people. This is a central component of their society, a central component of how they govern. They know everything about you, so they could find the weak links, or they could just find what you're doing. And then there's people that are like, well, we don't care. Well, that's fine. You may not care, because I hear this all the time. Neoconservatives will say, oh, let them track whatever they want. I'm not doing anything wrong. It's for the terrorists. Okay. Well, the Mayak report, on record, has already said conservatives, libertarian, Ron Paul supporters, pro-life supporters, they're all potential domestic terrorists. See, it doesn't matter what you think. It matters what the people watching the information, what they think. And we know what they think. In the Homeland Security See Something, Say Something campaign commercials, it was blacks, Asians, and Middle Easterners who were all reporting white people as being a potential terrorist. Every person in those videos was a white person with a suitcase. And I'm not just saying it's white people that are suspect to this. All of us are. In fact, the minority communities should be the most upset about this. Because if anyone's going to say our justice system doesn't work the greatest, it's those that get, 15 years for crack cocaine, but the white college student gets, 6 months probation for, powdered cocaine. We're absolutely out of control, ladies and gentlemen, and this is a story that should scare you to your, should just send a chill down your spine of why they're building this. The NSA's budgets are totally classified. We don't know how much money they're spending on this. We don't even know where the money is going. And the fact is that members of Congress overwhelmingly support everything that's taking place here. Now, if you think this is going to get any better under Romney, well, the guy who took the big leap forward when it came to the beginning of the warrantless wiretaps, who said, it's legal, I don't need the Constitution, I don't need anything, this is totally legal, no problem, was the CIA Director General Michael Hayden, who, by the way, is one of Mitt Romney's chief advisors in security, intelligence, and counterintelligence. And I'll tell you what, after 9/11, it was Michael Hayden who brazenly told Bush, and Bush went along with it, so did Cheney. This hardcore neocon faction said, we don't care what the Fourth Amendment says, we're going to do whatever we want. Some other notables on Romney's Security Advisory Committee, which are, I'd say, pretty dangerous characters. I said Michael Hayden. Michael Chertoff, former head of the Homeland Security Department, who now runs security consulting agency that happens to employ Michael Hayden. He's the guy who basically led the relief efforts during Katrina. And if you remember the relief efforts, what those were take guns away from the people who legally own guns. They went home to home, and you remember in this famous video where they beat up this old lady, took her gun. Then they went to they went to the more wealthy neighborhoods, and they just basically took all those people's guns. He's also the guy who did the investigation after 9/11, and the whole. If you just look at the investigation, whether you believe the official 9/11 story or not, it doesn't matter. If you look at the way 9/11 was investigated, it was any police investigation, any normal investigation was thrown out the window. All the evidence was completely destroyed within days. He's also the guy who works for the company that makes the body scanners and has been one of the chief advocates of not only the war on terror, but getting the body scanners in every airport. That is Michael Chertoff. A few others are Coffer Black, former director of the CIA's Counter-Terrorist Center during George W. Bush's first term. He now chairs an intelligence gathering agency called Total Intelligence Solutions, which is a subsidiary of Blackwater Worldwide. So all of the hardcore neocons that were for Bush, that are just like the people behind Obama, are now behind Mitt Romney. Not one of these people believe that this is a problem, believe the Utah Data Center is a problem. In fact, they would argue, no, it's about keeping you safe. Stripping your constitutional, God-given rights is about keeping you safe. I would rather take my risk with Al-Qaeda than have everything that I do searched and monitored, because I know where that leads. We've been warned by our founders that if ever there was going to be an enemy that came here, it would come under the guise of protecting us from a threat. But the threat really would be in the homeland, the people running the country. One of the last, I can go through this whole entire list, and there are some real characters in this Romney group, which leads you to believe who is Romney working for, because almost every single person in his, including Romney, all work for the Council on Foreign Relations. All are members of the Council on Foreign Relations. Many of them are skull and crossbones people as well. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a video that I ask you to please share with everyone you know. Let them do their own research. Let them go find out what's the data center. Call up your congressman and say, hey, why are they building this data center? Why is the NSA, why can't we know what their budget is? I mean, these so-called conservatives that want limited government, when it comes to spending billions on building all kinds of facilities to take away your rights, it's like, that's fine. We don't have a problem with that. This is something that we must expose. I think the American people, many of them don't even know this is going on. And by the time they find out, it will be too late. Please comment, share, and let me know your thoughts on what you think. Why? What are they getting ready for? What's this big setup for knowing everything that you do? I'm your internet anchorman, Fabian for Liberty. Thanks for watching. I'm out.